Hi Libra, this is Carrie at wooingnature dot not wooingnature dot like at wooingnature. I think I've been saying that wrong on all my other videos. This is Carrie Mubarak at Wooing Nature. And this is your reading for September. I am going to be reading from the Buddha Wisdom Shakti Power cards. I'm going to pull one card from that deck just to get us going, to give us some direction and some focus. I'm also going to be reading from the I-Ching card, so I'll be pulling a card and reading from the translated text of the I-Ching. And then I will finalize this reading with messages from the Chinese tarot, so we'll go to the tarot for our detailing. All right. So this card is Vajra Varahi. Vajra Varahi. So for those of you who are connecting to the Indian teachings or the teachings of East India, you can look up that deity and probably get lots of other additional information. But it's talking about guiding the dead safely. And it's also talking about death, and it's also talking about doorways. So if we're talking about deaths and we're talking about doorways, then there are some endings and there are some new beginnings. And this is very, very true right now because everybody is going through an ascension process. Well, I'm not going to say everybody's going through an ascension process. There are ascension processes happening right now. And so that means that some doors are going to be closing and other doors are going to be opening. And that is associated with death in the spiritual realm. So we're not talking about deaths. You don't have to be worried that, you're going to die or somebody else is going to die. We're talking about spiritual deaths. And when that happens, that means that the spirit or your soul or your energetic soul being is needing to transition and needs to move on to another set of things, a new alignment or a new focus. And so the energies that are happening around you are happening to kill off that old energy so that the new energy can come in and be properly represented. And so for me, there are lots of energies and lots of deities or lots of spirits that are associated with that. We can talk about your ancestral spirits, ancestral realm. For those of you who connect to those types of beliefs, or you are connected to those teachings or those religious beliefs, then your ancestors would be a really good place to start always. But then there are other deities as well that deal with the energy of death and resurrection. Christ is death and resurrection. Also, Kali is associated with death and resurrection. Yamaya is associated too, in a way, because we're talking about giving and taking. That giving and taking energy. I'm trying to think of who else is associated with that. Oya or Yansa is also associated with death. And then it goes on and on. So wherever that applies to you, whatever your belief system is, then we're talking about moving through a death cycle. And that is about renewal and being able to have your spirit be renewed, if nothing else. All right, so then we are moving on to the I Ching. With the I Ching, I pulled two cards. It's one card that represents the main passage, and I'll read the image, or not the image. I will be reading the general information. It's getting late today, and so I'm a little tired. Please forgive me. And then the second card represents the changing lines. Then the changing lines, whichever lines change, I will read those lines only, and then those lines are wherever you fit in, you get in where you fit in. So if one resonates with you more than another, then you take that information with you. If all of them resonate with you, then you take that with you, etc. So we've got the number 64 here. This is if you're numerologically inclined. Then the 64 breaks down to a number 1, which again talks about newness, starting over, endings, deaths, and then starting new. So the 1 corroborates that that line of thinking that we're talking about approaching something new or being a part of new life. I am going to read specifically from the text for this one, so that you will know what the I-Ching is suggesting specifically for you, Libra. This passage talks about, this passage title is before fulfillment. So again, we're talking about endings and beginnings and being renewed. So we're talking about being fulfilled and what happens before you receive the fulfillment or the enlightenment or the ascension or whatever. This sign can be compared to springtime, which leads to the fertile summer after the tempering cold of winter. It is a time as difficult as it is beautiful. Harmony reigns, life flourishes and prospers only after its completion. You need to draw upon all your strength to cope with the task of this nature. It would be presumptuous to expect a sudden solution to all problems with just one roll of the dice. The ground is still shaking under you. You must carefully create a foundation enabling you to bear the load. You are heading for an all-encompassing renewal of life. This departure for new shores is accompanied by anxious expectation and new hope. So, what this means for me, Libra, is that you are on the precipice of change. It's as simple as that. You're not quite there yet. That's why we've got this energy or this spirit represented by Vajra Varahi. I hope I'm saying that. Vajra Varahi. By Vajra Varahi. To help you assimilate that or to help you understand that process, okay? But the main thing here is that it still feels like the earth is rumbling underneath you. We just recently, here in this area that I'm living in, experienced an earthquake, which isn't normal for us. So it's interesting that this is coming along. And then also out west, we had a swarm of earthquakes that happened out west. And so what we know is that there is some unstableness or there's a feeling of being unstable. We're still getting shook up a little bit, but the shake-up is there to help you assimilate this new life that you are moving into. I'm interested in this thing, the spring, of course, wooing nature. I'm interested in the springtime and the summer and the winter. So they're talking about the winter leading into the summer and then the springtime. So it's like this winter we associated with being dormant, going in, things not being fertile, retreating, that kind of thing. And then the summer, and the summer is a very different thing. Um, and the spring. So we're looking at the end of summer when things are kind of dying out again for you, and you've gone through this cycle, you've gone through this process, but it looks like you're going to have to go through another process again, Libra. And I think that what this is that it's preparing you for the winter that's coming. The winter may be a challenge for you or may be challenging for you. It's the fall and the winter is said to be challenging for all of us, but I think that you will particularly be feeling it. But it's important to also see the beauty in it and to see what is being born of you through it. So just prepare yourself. I'm thinking that whatever forward movement you were feeling, it may feel like you're taking a few steps back, but it's really about you being able to understand that there is a deeper process going on. It's a deeper strengthening process going on for you. Because they're saying that you've got new foundations to build, you're going to have to be able to bear a different kind of load. So your practice up to this point has been to bear the load that you've been carrying so far. But you have another one coming with this new life that you have to prepare for and strengthen yourself for. So the work is not quite done yet. All right, so I am looking at the changing lines, and the changing lines look like number five, number four, number five, and number six. We're looking at the top part of the hexagram, being the where the changing lines exist. So we're looking at lines four, lines five, and line six. So wherever it is that you fit there, or whatever resonates with you, take that with you. Line four, you must now battle resolutely against advancing signs of decay. Cast aside your doubt and misgivings and show purpose and drive. Now, for some of you, and I don't know which one, when we talk with who you are in particular, but when you're talking about decay, again, remember I said you're getting ready to cycle back into the winter when things are dying out, things are decaying. You need to look at what is dying in you, what is decaying in you, what isn't as vibrant as it was before. What is trying to die in you so that you can renew this life? Because that which dies away makes room for the new within yourself. It's a very good metaphor. Very good metaphor. So it says, cast aside your doubt and misgivings and show purpose and drive. So don't get caught up in what you're losing and what's dying out. Continue to push forward anyway, is what this tells me. Line 5 says, you achieve your goal through hard work. This is the beginning of a new and glorious era. You mature into your true character and rise up to the challenges of life. And then in line 6, it says, once the confusion has passed, we are delighted by harmonious cooperation and the feeling of a mutual trust. But you should remain alert. The pendulum could easily swing back in the other way. So I think this just again speaks to the very precarious state that we're in when we're in between this life and this death and life. When we are transitioning out of one phase into another, whatever that is. And when we think about birth, birth is precarious. When a life comes into the world, I mean, nobody knows what's going to happen in that moment. And death itself also can feel the same way. Actually, I feel like death doesn't feel quite as precarious, but for some of us, for those of us who are seeing it and not experiencing, is I think where we feel unstable. Um, but I think this really puts us in touch with when we don't feel secure and why we don't feel secure, and it's quite natural because literally you're moving out of one phase into another. So that means you have to build new foundations. There isn't stable ground, apparently, or it doesn't appear to be stable ground where you are because you have to build it after you come out of this phase. So very good advice about that and about transitions in general. And also about understanding death as a part of life, and also understanding that even if you're dealing with your own mortality, or even if you're dealing with the fact that it's something that you really wanted but it's not materializing, or it could be something that an idea or an ideal way of life that you had and it's falling away. Especially if things aren't going the way you wanted them to go, just leaning into it and letting that fall away so that the new life can come. All right, so I have moved on to the tarot. The very first card up is the Seven of Coins. To me, this is about your values. This is about what you truly value. Yeah, you can have a whole lot of things that you like and you have fun with, but what are your true values? What do you stand for? When everything else is stripped away, what do you walk with? Because that's where your strength is. That's where your power is. That's where your unique way is. That's where your niche is. So this is about understanding value. That's a part of that process and that transitional process. followed by the Nine of Cups, which then Nine of Cups normally represents good fortune. It represents luck. But here in this card, it's like you understanding what you have to give, what has been given to you, and how you're going to share that. Is what it looks like to me. And when you know what you have, it's easier to share than when you don't. Again, I'm seeing your value being shown to you and being a part of your landscape, a part of your spiritual landscape, and also a part of your physical landscape as well. So like symbols or emblems. Libra, I'm getting for you to put symbols and emblems of what you truly value around you in your space. So this for you is going to be some new kind of feng shui. All right, I'm also getting the Ten of Swords here. The Ten of Swords means to me that you need to line up your thoughts with these new values. So this is like some step-by-step for you in September to get you ready for the winter and ready for this transitional process. But it's literally saying for you to line up your thoughts in accordance with your values. So it's a little home decor here for you. That's cool. But it's also aligned with your values. It's like your surroundings have to represent your value system. That's what it is. Again, we have the Six of Swords. And for me in this deck, the Six of Swords is about alignment. It's about strategizing. It's about knowing how to attack the challenge at hand. The challenge that you have is transitioning right now, going through this transitioning and being empowered to do so, being ready, doing the backside homework, the homework that you need to do. And homework for me is internal work that you have to do in order to be able to meet your target. Right now, the main thing for you is understanding your values and being able to surround yourself with emblems of that, so you won't get off track. We have the Four of Cups here. Again, cups. I'm getting cups and swords here. Doubling the cups and the swords here. It seems to me that it could be a father figure or it could be a male figure, but somebody of a spiritual nature. Could be somebody on the other side who is guiding you. They have something that they want to give you or that they want to share with you from their cup. Okay. So these are your blessings and these are your ancestral blessings. So there is an ancestral legacy or an ancestral blessing that this father figure or that this male ancestor wants to give to you. And they're saying that it is a part of these blessings that you will then share with other people. So it's a gift that they want to give to you. So it could come in the form of a dream. It could come in the form of just, I don't know, something somebody gives you that reminds you of this person. It could also be, okay, again, I'm getting for you to put these emblems of the things that you value around you. So what I think this is it could be an object that comes from an ancestor that is either going to be given to you or that you're going to find or that you're going to come into contact with. And when that is given to you, it's also a symbol of their giving this gift, this gift from the ancestors to you. And I'm also getting that it's for your foundational work. Remember, I was saying that you're getting ready to build new foundations, and that's why you feel precarious. So it's for that. It's for that purpose. Ooh, child, we got cards everywhere now. I don't know which one to pick. So what I'm going to do is put those back in. We're going to try this again. All right, Libra. All right, we have the Ace of Swords. Again, this is about being focused. It's about having a singular focus. Right now, your singular focus is on your values. That is your work for September. My verbal acuity is given out. I don't normally work late at night, so I'm an early morning person. So when I'm doing videos late, it just, my ability to talk, hold cards, everything just starts to go. And then also I'm having something with my neck. That's none of your business. You don't care. All right, Page of Swords here I have. And then I also have the Justice in reverse. But the Page of Swords says is a message. This message is about justice. It's about you. It's about Libra. I mean, justice is your card. It's about balance. And justice is kind of your moniker because you hold the scales. So if you are feeling like, to me with this justice in reverse, it feels like, your scales are not balanced right now. But that's because you need to examine your values. That's because you're transitioning. That's because you're moving out of the old into the new. That's because you're going back into a winter phase and cycle again. So this is passing, but it's going to, you'll probably see the results in the spring is what I'm getting. So they just want you to be prepared for that. They want you to have everything you need to be prepared for that time period and for your transition. I'm also getting here with the Page of Swords is that being able to honor your truth, the truth of who you are, the best of who you are, not it's not about the worldly thing at all. It really is about your values. And when you are able to stand and operate in that space, when you're able to align your mind with who you are, like your thoughts, with who you truly are and your true gifts, then that's going to make all the difference in the world. Anything else for Libra, please, for the month of September? Any other messages for Libra, please, for the month of September? All right. So again, we have another 4 here. I'm seeing a partnership here, a partnership with another person. This is you're going to start to see this in the fall of the year. I feel that you will be in a position of support, or this other person is going to support you, but you and this partner that you're going to be working with are going to be able to put some things down for yourself during the fall of the year that will serve as a foundation. Remember, I was saying that you have to, that part of this is about being able to um, um, to get your footing sure, or to sure your footing. So this is not, what I'm seeing here is that it may not actually, you may not see the results of it in the fall, but when you connect with this person in the fall, you're going to be able to put down some structure for yourself that will help you once you get out of this winter phase. Oh my gosh, no. Okay. All right. Let's see if there's anything else for Libra. Because I'm going to have to close it, people. I am going to have to close it, Libra. Anything else for Libra for the month of September? I want to be obedient, but I'm winding down, folks. All right, Libra, it looks like that's it for you for September. Good information for you. Don't forget to do your meditation and your prayer through your process as you are transitioning. That's always important when you're going through that, so that you can get the message clear of what you need to do and how you need to go about doing it. If you need to do a deeper dive, you know where to reach me. I'm at Kerri, Kerri, at wooing-nature.com, and that information is in the description box, along with the names of the decks and anything else that you may need in order to get in contact with me, either here on or in the cybersphere. Okay, I'm going to go take a nap. As always, I hope you have a great September, and I hope you're having a wonderful life.